Pratap Shah was born on April 16th of 1751 as the eldest of three sons by his father, King Prithvi Narayan Shah, and his second wife, Naryandra of Varanasi. Prithvi had chosen to marry Naryandra on the basis that he would receive the rights to purchase gunpowder and weaponry from her father's city of Varanasi. With this extra firepower, King Prithvi began a conquest of the Kathmandu Valley and beyond to create the Kingdom of Nepal. Considering the circumstances of his parents' marriage and his father's own conquering nature, one might expect Pratap Shah to be born as a natural warrior king. However, the opposite would prove to be true. Pratap would have spent his early life in the Gorkha royal palace until his father declared himself to be the king of Nepal and moved the royal residence to his new capital in Kathmandu when Pratap was 16. Likely, at the age of 18, Pratap Shah was married to a princess of Palpa, securing the continuation of an alliance between the king of Palpa and Prithvi Narayan Shah. As the crown prince grew into a man, he was taken on several campaigns during the 3-year Limbuan Nepalese War. Pratap Shah distinguished himself by showing no particular interest or understanding in military strategy or leadership. The prince was very opposite to his father, and preferred the comfort and amenities of the royal palace. His youngest brother, Bahadur Shah, was far more like his father, and excelled in the Shaha tradition of warfare. The contrasting interests of the brothers would eventually brew into paranoia. On his 53rd birthday, Prithvi Narayan Shah would pass away after a prolonged illness. So it is on January 11th of 1775 that Pratap Shah would become the second king of Nepal, a kingdom whose creation was even younger than its new 23-year-old king. Upon his ascension, his first action is to order for the arrest of his brother, Bahadur Shah, and his uncle, Dal Mardan Shah. Both were prominent members of the royal family that were more popular among Nepali citizens as they were great warriors. Dal Mardan Shah being the winner of a duel when he was 20, and Bahadur Shah was simply a capable general where his brother was not. The king exiles both men, likely on false evidence, basing his suspicions purely on popularity. After the swift set of exiles, King Pratap appoints Swarup, the court singer, to become his trusted Dewan. The role of a Dewan was to advise the king, handle many of his administrative duties, and command his armies. Swarup Singh Karki, the court singer turned politician, was not of Gorkhali descent like the other generals of Nepal. He hailed from the recently conquered Limbuan land in East Nepal. This would lead him to be disliked, as Nepal was currently at war with the remainder of the Limbuan kingdoms. Singer-turned-general Swarup Karki is handed the command to conquer what's left of Limbua along with a few Gorkhali generals. Among the leaders of Gorkha was Vamsharaj Pandey, a son of Prithvi Narayan Shah's most favorite general, Kalu Pandey. With this pedigree and his own military skill presented on multiple occasions, Pratap Shah appoints Vamsharaj as his second Dewan. A rivalry then immediately began between the two Dewans of Nepal. For the majority of his first year, as King Pratap Shah sat in his palace, his generals conquered the remaining southern land in Limbua. The Nepalese army easily defeated them and annexed the region. Nepal, as had been shown, now had near uncheckable military power when compared to most of its smaller neighbors. And that's when Nepal's largest neighbor came knocking, Tibet, which was under the spiritual leadership of the 8th Dalai Lama and under the military control of Qing dynasty China. The Dalai Lama complained to King Pratap Shah about the counterfeit coins they kept receiving from Nepalese merchants. It was starting to devalue the lucrative trade shared between the two nations. In his only substantial act as king, Pratap Shah ensures his innocence and promises to crack down on Nepalese counterfeiting for the mutually beneficial continued trade. This was only keeping in line with his father's policy and advice of keeping close relations with Qing dynasty China. The last Limbuan kingdom not under Nepal's domain was in the northeast corner of their lands. Many Limbuans retreated here as their last holdout against the armies of Nepal, and they defended that last bit of their homeland fiercely. In 1776, two Nepalese armies set out to finally subdue the land, one led by Dewan Swarup the Singer, while the other army was led by Abhiman Singh Basinyet, a highly respected general of Prithvinarayan Shah. Swarup seemed a qualified enough general despite his lack of experience, and successfully conquered the southern half of the region. Abhiman Singh Basinyet had the harder task of conquering the more mountainous north, and eventually did conquer that land. Dewan Swarup then took all of the credit for the conquest despite having the easier part of the job. In the following year of 1777, a trial was brought against Swarup the Singer. Backing up General Abhiman Singh Basinyet was the opposing Dewan, Vamsharaj Pandey. Swarup was found guilty by Pratap Shah, and he was exiled from Nepal. While one of King Pratap's first actions was to appoint this court singer to the rank of Dewan, one of his final actions would be firing and exiling that same man. Only a few months later, Pratap Singh Shah developed a cough that turned out to be tuberculosis. He would die on November 17th of 1777, aged only 26, dying in the same place that he had spent nearly all of his reign in, the royal palace. After ruling for only 34 months, he is the shortest reigning monarch of Nepal, with the exception of King Dipendra, who had massacred his whole family in 2001 before shooting himself in the head and becoming the king of Nepal while in coma for 4 days before dying. Pratap Singh Shah's only real impact on Nepalese history was his early death, as the throne of Nepal would be passed on to the eldest of his 3 infant children, the 2-year-old Rana Bahadur Shah. At the funeral pyre of Pratap Singh Shah, his first wife, and mother to their children, did not throw herself onto the flames as Hindu tradition permitted. This she did so her 3 newborns would not have to grow up parentless. A plausible enough reason to not burn yourself to death, but one in violation of Nepal's very religion. As if this was not enough, Queen Rahendra then becomes acting regent for her 2-year-old son.